Alex Eala at Australian Open 2026 main draw, what to know. Philippines' Alexandra Eala hits a return to Croatia's Dana Vekic during their women's singles match at the Kyoto Classic Tennis Tournament in Melbourne on January 14, 2026. Photo by William West/AFP. Manila, Philippines. Coming off a banner year in 2025, Alex Eala looks to take her game to the next level, starting with the Australian Open 2026. After a breakout season highlighted by her dream run at the Miami Open in March 2025, Eala is set to make her long-awaited Australian Open main draw debut when the tournament fires off on January 18. First opponent. The Filipino tennis sensation faces Alicia Parks in the first round as she finally completes appearances in all 4 Grand Slam main draws. Eala, currently at a career-high Women's Tennis Association ranking of number 49, meets Parks for the first time on tour. Parks is ranked number 100, with a career-high ranking of number 40. The 25-year-old American reached the round of 32 of the Australian Open in 2024 and looks to draw from that experience. The winner of their duel face either Karolina Muchova or Jacqueline Christian in the second round. Australian Open history. Alex Eala and partner Priska Nugroho of Indonesia. Rafael Nadal Academy photo. The 20-year-old Eala is making her Australian Open main draw debut after 3 first-round exits in qualifying over the past 3 years. She bowed out to Japan's Masaki Doi 6-4, 6-1, 7, 3-6 in the 2023 qualifiers, followed by another opening round loss in 2024 to Sweden's Rebecca Peterson 2-6, 5-7. Last year, the main draw again proved elusive after a qualifying loss to Croatia's Jana Fett, 5-7, 2-6. It marked the final time Eala missed a Grand Slam main draw before her breakout run began 2 months later. Making the Australian Open main draw in the pro ranks carries special meaning for Eala. 6 years after winning her first Grand Slam title in the juniors, the 2020 Australian Open girls doubles crown with Indonesia's Priska Madeline Nugroho, Alex Eala hits a 2-fisted backhand return to Magda Linette, a pole the Filipino beat for the first time in 4 meetings. ASB Classic website photo. Even after a breakthrough year, Eala considers her stint in the 33rd Southeast Asian Games in Thailand last December as the true start of her 2026 season. The Rafa Nadal Academy graduate captured gold in women's singles and added bronze medals in the team and mixed doubles events. She is also coming off a semi-final appearance at the ASB Classic in New Zealand last week, where she pushed China's Wang Xinyu to 3 sets, 7-5, 5-7, 4-6. Eala capped her Australian Open preparations with an exhibition win over Croatia's Dana Vekic, 6-3, 6-4, at the Kyoto Classic in Melbourne on Wednesday. Other Grand Slam steps. In her last Grand Slam outing, Eala made history at the US Open by becoming the first Filipino to win a main draw match in the Open era, defeating Clara Tauson, 6-3, 2-6, 7-6, 11. Her run ended in the next round against Spain's Cristina Buxa, 4-6, 3-6. At Wimbledon last July, Eala pushed former champion Barbara Krejcikova before yielding, 6-3, 2-6, 1-6, in a performance that still drew praise from the Czech star. Eala's Grand Slam debut came at the French Open, where she rebounded from a scoreless first set against Emiliana Arango to force a decider before falling, 0-6, 6-2, 3-6. She has also competed in doubles at both Wimbledon and Roland Garros, with her best showing coming in Roland Garros, where she and Renata Zarazua reached the second round. In the sun-soaked tennis temple of Melbourne Park, a new narrative is unfolding, one that blends youthful ambition, national pride, and a palpable hunger to break boundaries. At just 20 years old, Alexandra, Alex, Eala has carved her name into the main draw of the Australian Open 2026, not merely as a competitor but as a symbol of aspiration for millions back home and fans worldwide. A journey forged in persistence. Alex Eala's journey to this moment is a story as much about resilience as it is about raw talent. Before this year, the Australian Open was the one Grand Slam that had eluded her main draw presence. She had made attempts in the past, including qualifying stints, but never quite crossed that threshold, until now. Her breakthrough came through consistent improvements on the women's tour, highlighted by a stellar 2025 campaign in which she broke into the WTA Top 50, a historic milestone for a Filipino athlete. Eala soared to a career-high world ranking of number 49, reflecting a trajectory that blends skill, strategy, and a willingness to embrace the spotlight. For a player who once saw the main draws of the French Open, Wimbledon, and the US Open but never the Australian Open, this moment in Melbourne represents a long-awaited milestone. The anticipation has been building, not just for her but for a whole sporting nation watching her rise. The main draw debut, a historic moment. When the draw was announced, Eala learned she would face American Alicia Parks in the first round, a formidable opponent known for her explosive serve and competitive fire. Parks, with a career-fast serve that ties the fastest in women's tennis history, presents a unique test for the Filipina under the bright lights of Rod Laver Arena. Yet it's precisely these kinds of challenges that define careers. For Eala, stepping onto the Australian Open main court is not just about winning matches. It's about believing she belongs on tennis's grandest stages. It's about transforming potential into performance. And it's about inspiring the next generation of tennis hopefuls from Southeast Asia and beyond. Preparation, passion, and momentum. Eala's road to this point hasn't been lonely. It began years ago, long before the roar of the Melbourne crowd, at training grounds such as the Rafa Nadal Academy where she honed her craft from a young age. Gradually, she translated promise into performances, first in juniors and then on the professional tour. The 2026 Australian summer has been particularly kind to her confidence. In the lead-up to the Open, she grabbed headlines by clinching the Yvonne Goolagong Collie Trophy at the Creon Classic exhibition in Melbourne, a symbolic victory that underscored her readiness for the challenges ahead. Prior to that, she surged into the semi-finals at the ASB Classic in Auckland, New Zealand, proving that her talent is more than just a highlight reel, it's a consistent force capable of deep runs against quality opponents. More than a match, a movement. But what makes Eala's Australian Open story particularly captivating is not simply her athletic ascent, it's the cultural and emotional impact she carries with her onto the court. In Australia, the Parade of Nations at the opening ceremony marked a first, the Philippines represented with pride in the women's main draw. The cheers from Filipino supporters, both in Melbourne and streaming globally, have generated a buzz that goes beyond wins and losses. It has become a collective experience of national identity and global belonging. Eala herself has spoken about the energy she draws from the crowd, especially knowing that support from her compatriots fuels her belief. It's a reminder that sport is not just measured in points but in the hearts and minds it captures, uniting people across distances and life stories. The road ahead, possibilities and pressure. The Australian Open is notoriously unpredictable, a place where newcomers can storm through rounds and seasoned champions can be toppled in marathon battles. For Eala, this